Welcome back, book talk enthusiasts, to another exciting episode of Dragons and Spaceships, where we shine a spotlight on all the sci-fi and fantasy books that are taking the platform by a storm. I'm your host, Brandy, and today we are diving into a book that's been lighting up the shelves and the screens, Lark by Alex Aster. Whether you've seen it blowing up on TikTok or you're just hearing about it now, stick around because we have got a lot to unpack. But before we dive into the series, let's take a look at the Realm and Galactic rankings of trending books this week. We have Nicked by M.T. Anderson, Shadow State by Tom Clancy, The Housekeeper's Secret by Ayana Gray, Drown Me with Dreams by Gabby Burton, and The Ashton Throne by Victor Marquez. Now, back to our topic at hand. So, Lark, what's all the buzz about? Picture this, a mysterious island that only appears every 100 years. Sounds cool, right? This isn't just any ordinary island, though. It's the setting for the Centennial, a deadly competition where rulers of 6 cursed realms come together to fight for the chance to break the curses that have plagued their people for centuries. Each ruler has their own unique powers and dark secrets, making the stakes as high as they come. Our main character is Isla Crown, ruler of the Wilding Realm, where people are cursed to seduce and kill in order to survive. Isla enters the competition determined to break this curse, but as you might expect, nothing on Lark is as it seems. Let's talk about characters. Isla Crown is front and center. She's a bit of a mixed bag. On one hand, she's fiercely determined, doing everything she can to protect her people, but on the other, there are moments where her decisions seem, well, let's just say questionable. I found myself rooting for her, but also wanting more depth and consistency in her character. Then there is Grimm, the ruler of the Nightshade realm. He's got that dark, brooding vibe, definitely the kind of character who keeps you guessing. His relationship with Isla is one of those classic, can they trust each other or not dynamics, which adds a lot of tension to the story. And we can't forget about Celeste, the stunning ruler who, despite her bright and warm persona, is dealing with her own set of issues. The other rulers like Oro, who can manipulate fate and time, add their own layers of intrigue and complexity. But again, I felt like some of these characters could have been fleshed out more. Their interactions were interesting, but sometimes I wanted to dive deeper into their backstories and motivations. Now, one of the strongest aspects of Lark is its world building. Alex Aster has created a visually rich, imaginative setting that feels both magical and dangerous. The idea of an island that only appears every century is just dripping with possibilities, and Aster doesn't disappoint when it comes to setting the scene. The plot is another point of discussion. It is fast-paced, which is great for keeping you engaged, but it also can feel a little rushed at times. Some twists caught me off guard, which I loved, but other parts felt like they needed more time to develop. The ending in particular seemed to wrap up quickly, leaving me with a few questions. So let's get real. This book has been hyped a lot. If you have been on Book Talk, you've probably seen it pop up on your feed more than once. And with that kind of hype, expectations are bound to be sky high. The question is, does Lark live up to those expectations? For me, the answer is sort of. There's a lot to love here. The concept is unique, the world is intriguing, and there are definitely moments that shine. But if you are someone who is looking for deeply developed characters and a plot that ties up every loose end, you might find yourself wanting a little bit more. That said, I totally get why it's become such a big deal. The book has a cinematic quality to it, and I can easily see it being adapted into a movie or series. And for fans of YA fantasy who are looking for something new and exciting, Lark definitely delivers on that front. So would I recommend Lark? Absolutely, but with a few caveats. It is a fun, fast-paced read that is perfect if you are in the mood for something that mixes magic, mystery, and a bit of romance. Just go in knowing that it's not perfect, and that's okay. Not every book needs to be a 5-star masterpiece to be enjoyable. And hey, if you do pick it up, I'd love to hear what you have to think. Are you Team Isla, or did another character steal the show for you? What did you think of that ending? Let us know below. But before we go today, we have our 2 other segments we have to go over. First, we have Dragon's Roar. In today's Dragon Roar, we are delving into the latest drama or news in the book industry. Rachel Gillig, the author behind the Shepherd King duology, which includes One Dark Window and Two Twisted Crowns, has announced the first title of the first chapter in her upcoming book, The Night and the Moth. This new book will be the first in a brand new duology, and it is set to be released on May 20th, 2025. Next up, we have the Sorcerer Scrolls, where we look at some forthcoming fables and quests you can embark on soon. Today's featured book is Playground by Richard Powers. The release date for this book is September 2024. From the author of the Pulitzer Prize-winning novel, The Overstory, this panoramic novel sweeps across time and continents to finally settle on a remote atoll in the French Polynesia, where the future of humanity is at stake. Detailed backstories power a character-driven drama featuring desperate seasteaders, high technology, and floating autonomous cities. Well, that's it for today's episodes of Dragons and Spaceships. Thanks for joining us on this journey throughout the realms and the starships. Thank you for joining me on this deep dive into Lark by Alex Astor. If you have read this book, I'd love to hear your thoughts. And don't forget to follow us on social media for more quick and engaging book reviews and recommendations. Until next time, happy reading, stay curious, keep exploring the fantastical and futuristic, and may your TBR pile never stop growing.